Welcome to the new TMZ Live, where we bring you inside our newsroom as our staff chases down today's stories in real time.
Welcome to TMZ Live. Taylor Swift is all the talk, not just because of her new album, and we're going to find out about that a little bit later today when they make the announcement on Travis's podcast. But Taylor Swift is actually factoring in the Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively war. And we know, of course, that Taylor was very good friends with Blake Lively, and then that fell apart because of what came out during this legal war between Justin and Blake. Well, now we found out in some new documents that were just unsealed yesterday that that Justin Baldoni actually ended up having to pay more money to some people on his team because Taylor Swift became part of this whole narrative. And it is very interesting, a lot of money. Look, we've been talking about, as this whole battle has been going on now for, 9 months? We've been talking about how much both sides are spending on lawyers. Now we're finding out how much Justin Baldoni is paying to his social media team, and it is a lot of money. We're talking $30,000 per month. So this came out in an email that was sent from the social media team, a PR firm.
That's right, from a crisis PR team that said, look, now this case has taken on a different dimension. They said, we have all this chatter and this uptick in chatter from Blake trying to mobilize Taylor Swift's fans. So how much is that worth? Well, the uptick in chatter means we need $30,000 a month more to address it. And the way they address it is they sort of tap into social media. They mess with SEO, search engine optimization. They talk to influencers to shift the narrative in favor of Baldoni and Wayfair. And this PR team had said, we've been doing a good job of that. You've seen the narrative shift, and we saw it in real time because Blake initially came out with the sexual harassment allegations, but then
people hated Justin, and then it kind of shifted. Where certainly on social media, on TikTok, you had a lot of people who were supporting Justin. This PR firm is making it sound like they're responsible for that. I have no idea how much they are actually responsible for it, but that's what they tell the client because they're trying to get paid.
Yeah.
So remember, the reason that that Taylor Swift got dragged into this, there was an email that was released, and it showed that Blake referred to Taylor Swift as one of her dragons. After Taylor Swift showed up at Blake and Ryan Reynolds' house, and there was a discussion going on with Justin Baldoni about the script, and basically
she essentially said she was Kelce and I was unleashing my dragons on the world to protect me. And she included Ryan Reynolds in that. She included Taylor Swift. This didn't land well with Taylor, right? It's like really fractured their friendship. And I could see this opening another wound in sort of a way when Taylor sees that the social media team had to up their bill.
But
just to address
you got to hand it to the social media team.
Yeah.
They saw an opportunity that once Taylor Swift's name was dragged into it, they're like, wait a second, maybe we can get paid more here. This is the email, by the way, that was sent to Justin Baldoni. The social team are now worried about Blake activating the Taylor Swift fan base, which is a major concern. With this in mind, and to ensure Justin and the studio are 100% protected moving forward, they have now changed the fee to $30,000 per month due to the uptick in social chatter. What is really ironic about this is the Swifties didn't go after Justin Baldoni, as it turns out, because we broke a story that Taylor Swift was very upset that Blake had referred to her in this way. And so really what happened is that the Swifties were turning on Blake.
That's right. I mean, the concern was that Blake was so close to Taylor she could mobilize him, but that's not what happens. If Taylor turned against Blake, she could turn that narrative, and you don't want to waste your $30,000 on that because it's doing the work itself. Taylor's upset with Blake, and you don't need to spend $30,000 to change that narrative.
Christina, Sacramento. I just think it's crazy to try to weaponize any of your friends on behalf of anything. Referring to her as one of her dragons was so out of line and uncalled for, but in the same sense, we understand where Justin's coming from. That is a real thing. The Swifties are a real crowd of people that will not let up. So I 100% agree with Justin, and I feel as if he's in the right on this one.
That has been the sentiment online, and you're basically a case study for what the PR firm was saying. Look, we turned everybody on social media on Justin's side. Well, we are just a few hours away from the big announcement about Taylor Swift's next album, The Life of a Showgirl. We know, of course, that she recorded the podcast with her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, and his brother, Jason Kelce. That drops later today. I think it's 7 o'clock Eastern. So they are continuing to tease this, though. And I got to say, we expected Travis Kelce to be all in, right? This is his girlfriend. He wants to help her promote the album. But the award has to go to Jason Kelce because they released a little bit of basically Jason's intro to Taylor, and she has never, and think about her incredible career and all the awards she's gotten, she has never had an intro like this.
Our guest today is a singer, songwriter, and producer and director from Nashville, Tennessee. She is from Reading, Pennsylvania. She is the most awarded artist in the history of the American Music Awards, Billboard Music Awards, and iHeart Radio Music Awards. She has 14 Grammy Awards and is the only artist in the history to win Album of the Year 4 times. Last December, she wrapped up the Eras Tour, which spanned 149 shows across 51 cities, 5 continents. It was the most attended tour of all time. I'm still going. Hold up. Her last album, The Torture Poets Department, set a record with 1.76 billion streams globally within the first week alone.
All right.
In the first week?
And as a fan of that guy on the Chiefs, she has 19 wins, 2 AFC titles, and a Super Bowl. 92%ers! Are you ready for it?
Wait a second. She has 19 wins, 2 AFC titles? She's just a fan. Like, how does she have...
Charles, it's Taylor Swift.
Oh, my God. But I will say...
You missed the ending, by the way. The ending's the best part is when he goes, the one, the only Taylor Swift. And he does it in a way where she even says, she's like, his soul literally just left his body right now. It's a great clip.
He is all in. Look, obviously, there's a lot in this for Travis and Jason.
Absolutely.
They know that their numbers for this podcast are going to be...
insanely huge.
Record-setting, I'm sure.
I think just even for the first original teaser where she revealed that she has a new album, like that got 178 million views. There's another clip that dropped where she talks about New Heights podcast and how there's like a lot of male viewership and how they're probably not going to be happy with her on it.
This is the part that I think is, look, all in for the promotion. I get it. Travis and Taylor are working together. I think that's great. But she comes on the podcast and says this.
Oh,
this is going to piss off sports fans.
They say, welcome to New Heights.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on my favorite podcast. As we all know, you guys have a lot of male sports fans that listen to your podcast. And I think we all know that if there's one thing that male sports fans want to see in their spaces and on their screens, it's more of me.
Come on.
Taylor's got jokes. She's got jokes.
This was the thing that all NFL fans complained about. Like, how come every time I watch a Chiefs game, I got to watch every cutaway to Taylor Swift? Why do I have to? And she's just thumbing her nose at them, going like, I win.
But also, she was the #1 most requested guest for the New Heights podcast, so they're giving the people what they want.
That was #1 most requested by the Swifties who wanted her on.
Hey, they got new fans. They can't help who they are.
Their set is a man cave, right? It is, you could call it the most celebrated man cave in sports.
I am on your side. But I will say, the Super Bowl she was at last year, Charles, it was the most watched Super Bowl ever.
Of course it was. It was the most watched because you had regular sports football fans, and then you had all the Swifties too. It's great for the NFL.
It's great.
But this is... this is spiking the football. You know what she did? She just spiked the football right on them.
I can't wait to watch it.
Francis Montreal. I'm so happy she's clapping back. I've been a fan of her since I was probably around 7 years old, and I'm so glad she's on the podcast with two other athletes because that's exactly what she is, an athlete. The Swifties welcomed Travis, but yet she was booed at a game. That was so insane. I bought the album the second it was available on the site, and I've been constantly checking for new fan theories. I can't wait.
I have to know this. How many hours did you spend clicking online just to pre-order the pre-order of the album?
I constantly have an app open up on my iPad, even right now, just to keep checking the app just to see if anything's new available for it.
Just in case some merch drops that you can pre-order. You got to hand it to her. It works. Her fans will always spend whatever time and money and effort they can to buy her products. So she wins.
Coming up.
A big break in the Wendy Williams saga. You know, of course, we've spoken to Wendy multiple times over the last few months. She's not exhibiting any signs of dementia. So the big thing is she's got to get these medical evaluations, and that's gonna, hopefully, she hopes, get her out from under this guardianship.
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. A big break in the Wendy Williams saga. You know, of course, Wendy Williams trying to get out from under this guardianship. Now, a big part of this has been, we've spoken to Wendy multiple times over the last few months. She's not exhibiting any signs of dementia. She sounds like Wendy. So the big thing is she's got to get these medical evaluations, and that's gonna, hopefully, she hopes, get her out from under this guardianship. Well, the guardianship says that they got results in from her latest medical evaluation. Right. And we got the documents yesterday. Now, the documents themselves didn't say what the results were.
Right.
But what's interesting is that they are saying, The Guardian, that they want to put a pause on this lawsuit, that's a guardianship that is the lawsuit against A&E. The fact that they want to pause it says to me that, like, when I read that in the documents, I felt like they were saying, let's not go too fast. Let's see what happens with the guardianship. Because you know that Wendy has hired Joe Tacopina. She's trying to get out from under the guardianship.
One thing I think about with regards to Wendy is, we've spoken to her many times by phone. Other media outlets have spoken to her many times by phone. But nobody is in the room with her like 24/7 like these doctors who evaluate her and can really see if she's sick or not, So that
But here's the issue: the test that was done, and so the documents didn't say the results. Right. There is a report, according to People magazine, that the results show she does have dementia. Mm-hmm. And that she, therefore, should stay under the control of this guardianship. But this test, we're told by people very involved in this case, mm-hmm. was conducted by doctors selected by the guardianship. So, look, I'm not questioning, I don't know who these doctors are. I'm not saying that they were influenced. But if you're Wendy, you're obviously going to feel like, well, yeah, these are their doctors.
It's subjective. Right?
That's how Wendy's going to feel, and that's why what we're told is that Wendy also got an independent panel of doctors to evaluate, and they're waiting to get those results. It will be really interesting if the results from the independent test do not match the results from the Guardian's doctors, because that's going to be Wendy's. I would imagine Joe Tacopina jumps on that and says, what's going on here, because this is all about trying to get her out from under this guardianship. And
Sabrina might say...
Sabrina Morrissey, who's the guardian.
Right. So who's the guardian might say, they're biased. They're just like on,
Right. She may say the same thing that Wendy's saying.
Yeah, exactly.
And then this all ends up kind of where we are now, which is there's going to have to be a major court battle if she's going to get out.
Agree.
Hi, it's Gabriela from California, and the Wendy Williams situation has definitely been a roller coaster ride. But with the medical evaluation being completed, I think we may be at a pivotal moment. I mean, at the end of the day, Wendy's health and stability is what's important, and she needs all of the care that she needs properly to stay safe and healthy.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants Wendy to be safe and healthy. And I'm not a doctor. I don't know exactly how these tests work. All I can tell you is what we have experienced speaking directly to Wendy. I don't see or hear any evidence of dementia, but this is going to come down to doctors on both sides. Well, almost 3 weeks since Hulk Hogan's death, and obviously the people around him, people in his lives, his family members, are still feeling it. And we got some photos in today of Brooke Hogan as she was just out for a walk with her husband, and it's very clear that she's very upset.
I mean, they obviously at one time had a great relationship and hadn't spoken in a couple of years, Charles, and for him to just be gone like that, you can only imagine what she's going through.
Yeah, you completely understand it.
Yeah.
You know, we put together this documentary, and we had people talking about that relationship between Hulk and Brooke and his other
Brooke
family
on
members.
it as well. She's on the
and Brooke. It was, like we said, you know, it was on Fox last night, but it is now streaming on Hulu. And one of the really interesting parts of
I was watching. Look.
Oh, look at you.
I was watching.
Oh, you're just watching. You're watching yourself.
Again.
You were watching the part with yourself.
Replaying that part.
By the way, well done. If you haven't seen it, like I said, it's streaming on Hulu. But you actually see the moment where you got the news.
We happened to be taping the TMZ on TV show.
We were shooting TMZ on TV when that happened. So it's really interesting for that. Sylvester Stallone, I thought, had a really interesting perspective on Hulk Hogan because, and I didn't really remember it this way, but when Hulk Hogan was in Rocky III, that was a big moment for Hulk Hogan, and I didn't remember that, but Hulk Hogan wasn't the Hulk Hogan superstar that he became at that point.
Charles.
But he was, as Sly told us in the special, Hulk was just beginning to become, this was just the start of Hulkamania, really. This is what Sly had to say about working with him at that stage.
When I first saw him, I said, there's certain people that have a light, there's a glow, they just have it. It's really special because at first you wonder, oh, can I really do this? And you have to be willing to not care if you fail. He was basically fearless in that way. He wasn't just a wrestler, he was gonna become a symbol for all the world of WWE and wrestling. He just knew he was destined for bigger things, and he had the guts and the fortitude to go after that. And he changed that world forever. There'll never be another guy like him. Hulk was in a class of his own.
Yeah.
I think it's true. Wrestling was very regional back then. Like you had, you know, in the Midwest, you had the promotion and nobody knew these guys.
Like I said, streaming on Hulu now, check it out because, yes, you have the people talking about, but it is a very complete picture of him.
It's not like a puff piece. It's very
lows,
real.
Everything's there. Yeah. Check it out. The Real Hulk Hogan, streaming on Hulu.
Hey guys, it's Matt from Ottawa, Ontario, and I just want to say I find this so endearing to hear all these people talk about Hulk Hogan and what he meant to them, whether it's, you know, Stallone or the family, and you see the grief all over Brooke Hogan, his daughter. But it's just clear that this man was a legend and he meant so much. His impact was massive. And I agree with what everyone's saying. Sure, his controversies make his legacy a little complicated, but listen, I was a Hulkamaniac and I forever will be one.
Yeah, I guess I did count myself as a Hulkamaniac at a time. Yeah. It was something to see him, man. Him and Andre Giant in the ring together. Pretty incredible.
Coming up.
Well, if you are Timothée Chalamet, it is never too soon to start thinking about the Oscars. And he has a new movie that is going to be coming out. It's called Marty Supreme. And the big surprise, there's someone else who is co-starring with him. And if you watch Shark Tank, then you know Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, in this trailer. He is going to be here to talk to us about his acting debut.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Phoebe Rexa was looking hot on vacation.
Look at the water, too. Did you just say look at the water?
I mean, I'll be honest, that is what I was looking at.
TMZ.
Well, if you are Timothée Chalamet, it is never too soon to start thinking about the Oscars. And he has a new movie that is going to be coming out on Christmas Day. The trailer dropped today. It's called Marty Supreme. And yes, everyone expects that this will be the next film that he gets an Oscar nomination for. You can always tell when the movie comes out at Christmas. Those are always the Oscar films. So Marty Supreme is about Timothée Chalamet is the star. He's playing a ping pong player, an international superstar ping pong player. And it is based on a true story, but it is on an actual person, fictionalized film. But the trailer dropped today, and the big surprise, not Timothée Chalamet or Gwyneth Paltrow, who is his co-star. There's someone else who is co-starring with him. And if you watch Shark Tank, then you know Mr. Wonderful is not supposed to be an actor, but there was Kevin O'Leary in this trailer. Check out a little bit of it. He is going to be here to talk to us about his acting debut.
It's hard to believe, but I'm telling you, this game, it fills stadiums overseas. And it's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
I'm not trying to control you, Marty.
It is unacceptable! It's unacceptable!
But I don't think you understand the stakes. You have no power here.
What do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work out?
It doesn't even enter my consciousness.
Seems pretty obvious to me. I mean, Chalamet was getting all of his energy from Kevin O'Leary. I'm shocked by this, but I'm thrilled that our good friend is joining us once again. Kevin, welcome back to TMZ Live. Are you clearing off any space on the shelves for an award?
I've always said, if you want to keep yourself sharp, you've got to spend 30% of your day outside of your comfort zone. So, when Josh and Ronnie, the writer, came to me with this, and they're huge Shark Tank fans, and this story is really about the American dream anyways. That's really what Timmy's doing in this. They said, look, we're looking for a real and you're it. And that was, this is how we started, and this is where we ended up. It was a remarkable experience working with Timmy. The guy he's just full of electricity. It was set in 1952, so you close your eyes before Josh yells action, wake up, and there I was in 1952, being that perfect.
No matter what decade, you can do it, no matter what century. You're referring to the director, Josh Safdie. What was it like? By the way, we all noticed that you just call him Timmy now. So clearly you guys bonded while making this film. Tell us about your character. Who are you playing in relation to Marty and even Gwyneth Paltrow?
It's set in 1952. I'm Milton Rockwell, one of the wealthiest men in America, married to Gwyneth. We're socialites in New York. Timmy's a hustler in this movie. He's Marty Supreme. He needs money. He needs my airplane. He needs everything I have. It was the Shark Tank 1952. He came blasting in and he said, look, you got to help me. I got to get all around the world on this whole journey to be the best. And there we just started. I must say one thing about this, and I have a new appreciation for it. When you take over Times Square for 3 hours, or you take the entire Plaza Hotel and convert it into 1952 with hundreds of extras, you're in it. You're there. I was Milton Rockwell, and I was thinking to myself, I like my hair, and I don't want to leave 1952. You guys go back to 2025. I'm staying here.
So you're playing Milton Rockwell. What was that like for you to play a Rockwell who I'm sure you have admired the family's business prowess for more than a century? What was that like to actually step into that role?
You got to remember the birthplace of the American dream under the feet of the Statue of Liberty was in the streets of New York in the 40s and 50s. It was post-war. The vibe was completely different. It was just, everything around me was exactly from 1952, including the two watches I'm wearing. These are part of the movie. This is a 1950 Seiko, and this is a 1952 Patek Philippe, and you'll see them in the movie. I'm wearing them on my wrist right now.
Now, were those movie props, or did you bring those yourself?
I don't do props. I told Josh, I have to own the watches, buddy. That's the way it's going to work. I'll bring them with me.
Wow. Kevin, by the way, I have to correct myself. You said you're playing Milton Rockwell. I was thinking Rockefeller, which is why I said that. Asked you about the family.
Tomato.
Tomatoes. So now you've made your acting debut. By the way, most people, have to go through like a few acting classes. They have to get, rejected from auditions and everything. You just get a call up and you're co-starring with Timothée Chalamet. Is this a one-off, or are you going to do you have your agent taking in scripts now, trying to find another role for you? This sounds like you have another role coming.
No, I mean I didn't take any acting lessons, and I think Ronnie and Josh did the right thing, just saying, look, just be yourself and let's see what happens. And then I was so comfortable when it came time to actually do these parts because they kind of fit me, and I loved it. It was really amazing. And I'll let you judge when this thing comes out on Christmas. You decide, did I bet or not?
People will be watching, and you are the bonus they weren't expecting. They may come for Chalamet, but when they walk out, they'll be talking about O'Leary. Kevin, thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate it. And listen, let us know when you get another role. Don't let it be a big surprise when the trailer comes out.
I appreciate it, man. Take care. Good seeing you guys.
All right, take it easy.
Coming up.
This was a big day for President Trump because he got to roll out his Kennedy Center. And so he was revealing his first list of honorees.
Now, the president did give a speech announcing these names in which he was really wonderful and above the fray and
right,
no politics.
And only talked about the honorees.
Only talked about the honorees.
That's not what happened. He talked a lot about himself.
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. This was a big day for President Trump because he got to roll out his Kennedy Center, the renewed Kennedy Center. You know that he got rid of the entire board. He is now the chairman of the Kennedy Center Honors. And so he was revealing his first list of honorees. And everyone expected that he was just going to throw out all his buddies. Kid Rock would be there. That's not what happened. And I have to say, you're going to have a hard time criticizing most of this list because they're all worthy. George Strait, Michael Crawford from Phantom of the Opera, Sylvester Stallone, Kiss, and Gloria Gaynor. I Will Survive from the disco era if you're too young to know that. But who's going to argue with that?
It's a good list. Those are all deserving nominees. It doesn't seem overly political. Sly is obviously pretty conservative. Gloria Gaynor had some harsh things to say about Trump in the past. A big fan of the Obamas. So it seems to be a pretty good list of really successful entertainers who are all deserving.
Who are all deserving. So you got to give him his props.
Yeah.
This is not the list that people thought was going to be, and you can't say that he was just doing it to, get all of his buddies in there.
Right.
Sly,
because in the morning meeting, we sort of had opened the forum guessing about who he might have, we didn't know, guessing about who it might have been. And obviously the Ted Nugents and Kid Rocks were all the guesses, and that's not a way it turned out.
Should have known Sly was going to get it, though.
Yeah.
And by the way, totally deserving.
Sure.
But he also was named an ambassador to Hollywood.
Yeah.
One of the president's Hollywood ambassadors.
Now, the president did give a speech announcing these names in which he was really wonderful and above the fray and no politics.
And only talked about the honorees.
Only talked about the honorees.
That's not what happened. He talked a lot about himself.
I've been asked to host. I said, I'm the president of the United States. Are you fools asking me to do that? Sir, you'll get much higher ratings. I said, I don't care. I'm president of the United States. I won't do it. They said, please. And then Susie Wells said to me, sir, I'd like you to host. I said, okay, Susie, I'll do it. It's been a long time. I used to host the Apprentice finales, and we did rather well with that. The Kennedy Center Honors have been among the most prestigious awards in the performing arts. I wanted one. I was never able to get one. This year, it's true, actually. I would have taken it if they would have called me. I waited and waited and waited, and I said, the hell with it. I'll become chairman. And I'll give myself an honor. Maybe I'm going to honor, next year we'll honor Trump, okay?
Do you think for a second that that's not going to happen? He is absolutely going to be.
Absolutely going to do it. My favorite part of that is he twice said, I became chairman. You appointed yourself chairman. You didn't become chairman. It didn't happen through some sort of divine intervention. You appointed yourself chairman.
He's always very open.
Yes.
Very open.
I feel like this is definitely the way that Donald Trump is moving to get his Nobel Peace Prize nomination. And I really think Billy Joel should have been on that list because of the way that he plays Uptown Girl at all of his rallies, along with at all of his golf courses. But I think that he should definitely be picking some celebs that are a little bit more modern, because Rihanna has been donating so much to climate change this year.
You know what? Look, you're right about Billy Joel, and look, he could get on the list next year. It's never, the honorees are never like modern people. It's not. Billy Joel already has this? Well, there you go. There's the answer. But they're never modern people. It's always people. It's supposed to be a career achievement. So look for Trump next year. A big shocker in the rock and roll world. Obviously, getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a big honor. And for someone like Chubby Checker, who honestly I'm shocked was not in already, he got the nod. He's going to be going into the hall, but he just announced that he is not going to go to the ceremony. Here's Chubby explaining. This was at one of his recent appearances, and he explained why he's choosing not to go.
Why would you miss the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremonies? But then I'm standing backstage watching you touch every one of these people, and I got the reason why.
I told my manager, I says, make sure when we go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the induction, that I'm doing what I love doing the most, being in front of an audience, a live audience, not a television audience. The Rock Hall says, we want you to come here this day and be here. I said, we're not coming. You what? I said, we're not coming. We have a gig. Well, forget about your gig. You never forget about gigs.
I respect him as a performer, that he loves to do gigs and perform for audiences.
I think maybe they didn't want him to perform.
Oh,
I think maybe that's what it was, is that he like, I'll come and perform and do my songs. And they're like, nah, we're good.
So they probably either...
I mean, I'm speculating that, but that's what it sounds like.
Either they were just going to give him the award, give him his induction,
or maybe
and have someone else perform. I could see that.
And so I could see that maybe the level of offense he has is, I've never stopped performing, and he hasn't. He's like, I'm 83, but I can still do it. Let me get up there and do it. That's why you inducted me. And if they said no, he'd be like, okay, I'm not going to go. I'll play live that night.
That's a shame. I feel like I get it, but man, sometimes pride is not the way to go. Like, I just feel I would hate for him to look back and go like, wish I had actually been there.
But he's waited 40 years. I mean,
yeah, maybe at this point he's
he
just
doesn't
like,
care.
It doesn't matter.
Hi, my name is Andrew, and I'm coming from Long Island, New York. In regard to Chubby Checker, he's an icon, he's a legend, and for them not to give him the opportunity to perform, I think is something that everybody is missing out on. But for Chubby, he may look back on this and think that it's something that he might regret, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. And I think that he should, go, and I think the Hall of Fame should allow him to perform.
I got to say, if you're right, Eric, that the Hall didn't want him to perform, shame on them. By the way, the song is only probably 3 minutes, 15 seconds.
Yeah, well, he does actually have other hits.
He has other songs, but that's what you'd want him to perform.
And it wasn't until The Weeknd's Blinding Lights. It was Billboard's biggest hit of all time.
See, that's the kind of information you can get on. I should have told you guys. Eric hosts a podcast. It's called Get to the Hook.
With my lovely co-host, Charles.
Oh, that's right. I'm on it too. I almost forgot.
Coming up.
During Diddy's trial, some of the most riveting testimony came from Kid Cudi. Well, he was asked about it and talked about the fact that he actually wasn't even going to testify at all.
At first they asked, I said no. They asked again, I said no. Then I got subpoenaed.
Be right back.
During Diddy's trial, some of the most riveting testimony came from Kid Cudi, who described what he said was the firebombing of his Porsche, a very tense showdown with Diddy at his home. And this was all over the fact that Cudi at the time was dating Cassie when she was on a break from Diddy. And it was, while it was gripping testimony, ultimately it didn't land with the jury because they did not convict him on any of the charges directly related to violence against Cassie. And so you got to wonder how Cudi feels about that. Well, he was asked about it. He was on the Call Her Daddy podcast and talked about the fact that he actually wasn't even going to testify at all. But this is how they got him to testify and what he thought about it afterward.
You testified in court.
Yeah.
How did you feel going into that situation?
I was there because I had to be. Like, I first they asked, I said no. They asked again, I said no. Then I got subpoenaed. And I was like, no! I hated every minute of it. Like, I did not want to do it. But then I thought about, when I was up there, I'm here to support Cassie.
Yeah, I get why he would feel that way. Like, I get why he was reluctant to do it. Like, why do you want to step back into this thing that happened years ago and put yourself back in that battle with Diddy?
I find it fascinating that he was reluctant to do it because he actually got a bad rap with his hip-hop peers. He had Young Thug and Kanye's dude Consequence calling him all types of snitches just for testifying, but he practically got dragged to the court.
Yeah, he got dragged to it, and that's why I wonder how he feels about, look, he was subpoenaed, but ultimately because Diddy wasn't convicted on those things, of those things, do you regret it? Maybe not. It sounds like he genuinely wanted to help Cassie in some way.
Yeah, and it's water under the bridge, but, he said that he actually wore his leather jacket and jeans. He's usually a fashionable dude, but, he just showed up to court as is, like, let me just get this over with, so... Very interesting. But yeah, he's got a new album, new memoir. So I think the Diddy testifying is water under the bridge for him.
Hi, I'm Jackie from Los Angeles. And look, I don't know too much about court. I'm a good girl. But the most I know is what I see on Judge Judy. And if it's anything like that, then I would be terrified to go into court too, because it seems so scary. I also think that we should believe people when they speak, right? I always say your word is your wand. And Diddy always said he was a bad boy for life. So we should have kept our eye on him way back then. That's all I'm saying. Pay attention, you guys.
I wouldn't take too much in the title of his record label, but boy, if you were scared by Judge Judy, I don't know, a federal trial is definitely not where you want to be.
Coming up,
President Trump has revealed his first list of Kennedy Center honorees. On the list was the band Kiss. Gene Simmons at times has said things that he doesn't support, and I think there are some things he does. We were wondering how they were going to react to this.
Be right back.
It was a tremendous shock. It was a blow to my heart. The legacy of Hulk Hogan.
He was a wrestling star. He was a movie star.
The stories you've never heard.
We tried to camouflage it.
From those who knew him best.
I really miss him. And if I dwell on it, I can get really, really sad.
TMZ presents The Real Hulk Hogan. Stream on Hulu now.
So we told you earlier that President Trump has revealed his first list of Kennedy Center honorees. On the list was the band Kiss. And we were wondering how they were going to react to this because they've, certainly Gene Simmons at times has said things where, not hating on President Trump, but there are things that he doesn't support. And I think there are some things he does. But we now found out Devin had reached out to the band to try and find out whether they were going to show up. And the two guys the two remaining original members who are Kiss, Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley. We got
yeah, and we also got Ace's quote now as well. They're clearly honored. That's the general consensus, and it seems like they're definitely going to go. So Gene says Kiss is the embodiment of the American dream. We're deeply honored to receive the Kennedy Center honor. Paul tells us, from our earliest days, Kiss has embodied the American ideal that all things are possible and that hard work pays off. The prestige of the Kennedy Center honors cannot be overstated, and I accept this on behalf of the long legacy of Kiss and all the band members who helped create our iconic band. So they're
awesome.
clearly...
Don't sleep on my man.
Yeah, we got Ace as comment as well.
You
His
can
just
see
came
why
in.
I want you to read his.
Coming from my humble beginnings growing up in the Bronx. Okay, there you go.
BX.
This nomination is a dream come true that I never thought would materialize. So.
And also wanted to see you mispronounce.
Yes, that was a tough one for me.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
So they're going to be there. Ace Frehley is in the Bronx Walk of Fame, you know.
Are you in there?
Anyway, yes. So that's sounds like Kiss is going to be there for their Kennedy Center honor.
Hi, I'm Pravi from Florida, and at the end of the day, Kiss is absolutely legendary as a band. They have worked hard for decades and have been recognized, and they absolutely deserve this award.
Good for them, because for a long time, Kiss has been maligned by critics, so good that they've gotten a chance to be honored this way. What else do you guys want to talk about?
My name is Alex. I'm from College Station, Texas, and I'm talking about the Justin Baldoni PR team wanting a raise for dealing with the Swifties. And I 100% think that they're justified for this. I mean, Taylor Swift is the music industry, and she 100% has the toughest fans. We are her army, and with the announcement of her latest album coming out, we already are having some hints that is Blake Lively going to be mentioned in this album.
Do you think that the album is going to have is going to make some reference to Blake Lively?
I could see it. I mean, in her last album, she had Thank You, Amy, which was a reference to apparently Kim and Kanye. And, you know, that was apparently under the dust. And she could bring out any of her, you know, revenge stories up again. You can never predict what she's going to do.
I know you'll be listening as soon as it drops. We don't even know when it's coming out yet, so we will see. One more.
Hi, my name's Colin from Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm here to talk about Taylor Swift going on the New Heights podcast. Honestly, I feel like her poking a joke at the fact that, you know, all the NFL fans have been pretty much dragging her because she's on screen all the time. I think it's the best way for her to do it. You know, Taylor's known for poking fun of herself. I also feel like this is a brilliant album rollout, and Taylor Swift needs to teach a master class in marketing and PR, in my opinion. But yeah, I think that this is going to be great. Honestly, I'm excited.
Marketing, there is nobody who does it better than Taylor Swift and her team, because, again, they're selling cassettes. Nobody even has a cassette player, but they're going to buy it.
Coming up.
Zoe Kravitz almost destroyed, or she actually did destroy, part of her friend Taylor Swift's home, all over a snake.
Either we destroy her bathroom, or I have to tell her that there's a snake somewhere in her house.
Yeah.
Be right back.
Zoe Kravitz almost destroyed, or she actually did destroy, part of her friend Taylor Swift's home, all over a snake. Earlier this year, when she and her mom, Lisa Bonet, were displaced by the LA fires, and Taylor offered her home here in LA for them to stay for a while. I don't know if Taylor knew that Zoe was bringing her pet snake.
I was washing my face, and I had Orpheus, snake's name, Orpheus, and I just put her down for a second.
Great.
Closed the door, and she found this little hole in the corner. So the house manager was there. He gets a crowbar.
Great.
And starts having to like tear apart this banquette. We're ripping up the tile, we're scratching the walls, completely destroyed Taylor's bathroom. And there was just this moment where I was like, either we destroy her bathroom, or I have to tell her that there's a snake somewhere in her house.
Yeah.
Wise choice, destroy the bathroom. You cannot leave a snake in someone's house. Also, if you're a snake owner, please be responsible. Don't just put the snake down somewhere. Put him in a cage, please. I'm sure Taylor was fine with this. It's a little remodel just because of a snake. That is going to do it for us. We will see you next time.